Hey everybody, this is Ed Whitty. I'm the curator of birds here at Oklahoma City Zoo, and I'm standing in front of the Cassowary exhibit here at Sanctuary Asia. This is OKC Zoo at 2, which is part of our digital series to help connect our guests and public to our zoo family here. Just kind of wanting to keep everybody engaged. So what we got here is we have our two cassowaries. We have Arun and Saran. This is the male Saran. As you can see, he likes grapes a lot. And if you look really close, you can see like on the top of his head, he's got what we call a casque. They're not exactly sure what the casque is for, but it's thought to be either something to help thermoregulate, like lose heat, or to also, when they're running through the rainforest, that they can put their head down that helps move out the plant material out of their way. You'll also see that he's starting to get his adult colorations. Arun will be 3 years old in May, and Sarun is the same age. So they were both hatched in May of 2017. So whenever we first got them, they were only about 18 inches tall. They were solid brown, which they already changed their colors once, because when cassowaries hatch out, they're actually a brown color with a little bit of buff striping on them. And then they molt out into a solid brown color, and then they start going into their adult plumage, which you're starting to see. As they mature, the little red wattles, which is they're also called double wattle cassowaries, will get larger, and the casque on top of their head is going to get a lot taller and bigger.
Wow.
So these guys come from Australia, Papua New Guinea, and 2 islands in Indonesia, which is what they're named after, the islands of Saran and Arun.
Oh, okay.
So,
and who's this one?
this is Arun, female. Females are larger.
She is, yeah,
She's
she's
gonna
quite
get
a bit
big.
larger.
And these guys are basically fruit eaters. And they will eat some invertebrates like insects, but predominantly it's fruit. And these guys are so important to the rainforest in Australia because there are so many plants and trees that would not be around if it wasn't for cassowary. And the reason I say that is these plants have these seeds that have such thick flesh around their seed, the fruit part, that they actually have to be eaten by the cassowary, pass through the digestive tract, and then once they are defecated, they can then germinate. If they're not passed through that tract, a lot of those seeds will not germinate. They also are important for seed dispersal because the cassowary may eat a seed and then travel long distances and then have defecate the seed out, which then can spread out different species of plants.
Wow.
So these guys, as you saw, are in separate habitats, and the reason for that is cassowaries are very territorial. They can be aggressive even to each other. We had to separate them when they were about 15 months old. They were starting to show a little bit aggressive tendencies toward each other. We will not put them together again until they're sexually mature, which they will be sexually mature around 4 or 5 years. So we have another year for these guys to mature out before we have a chance of breeding them. And we do want to breed them. Now what's really cool about cassowaries is the female lays the eggs, but the male is the one who incubates the eggs and raises the young. So once the female lays, she's done with the family rearing part of this. Their eggs are incredible. They are a dark green. I really encourage everybody to go online and Google cassowary egg and see what these guys look like. So
Awesome.
Cassowaries are also the second largest bird as far as weight. Ostriches are the most, to the third tallest, with ostrich and rheas being the tallest two, with cassowaries coming in third. So these guys also, if you look at their feet, you're going to see these long toenails, and they can be up to 5 inches tall, or long. Sorry about that.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, you can really see that. Now, I'm sure everybody's seen Jurassic Park, and you've seen velociraptors. Okay, that's basically how cassowaries can defend themselves. They will jump up into the air and slash with their feet. And so, needing that means that we work our cassowaries in what we call protected contact, which means that we do not share a space with the cassowaries at all. Now they've gotten to be mature. So that kind of has some challenges as far as us working with them. So in the barn, we actually have a hallway with a training crate in there, and we are training the cassowaries to come in we can shut the door on them in time, and then we can actually train in time for blood draws, x-rays. If we can get them to hold their head out, we can take x-rays, do ultrasounds, everything like that, which is great for the bird because they're not anesthetized. It's great for us because we can do it with the birds right there, and so it's a lot less stressful on everybody.
Awesome. So one of our Instagram followers is asking about the blue color on their neck.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so the blue color is, they're starting to mature.
Oh, okay.
And so they keep that color year round. It does get more intense as they age. And you can also see the wattles. Those will get larger as they mature out also.
And those wattles, are those the same that you see on a turkey? Or similar?
Kind of, I mean, it's just a display part. So it probably has that same function.
Cool.
And we've had a lot of questions about their wattles. What is the purpose of that red wattle?
We're not sure. I mean, we think it's for display with these guys. Something like the bright colors that birds have. Different birds have different ways to attract mates.
And you said the zoo does breed cassowary. Are they? What's their status in the wild?
They are least concerned, but their population is going down, and there's a lot of different reasons for that. One, a lot of the forests are getting logged, so they're losing their habitat. Also, the forests are starting to get a lot of roads through there, and cars hitting cassowary is a major problem in Australia. But also, a lot of their forests are cleared for farming and agriculture, and the populations can be fragmented, which means that they are getting smaller and smaller groups together of cassowary.
And how much larger will our two cassowary get?
They're basically almost adult size. They'll probably grow a little bit more in the next year, but they're just about it.
All right, and so part of this OKC Zoo at 2 series is we want to hear from you. So prior to going live every single time, we will ask everyone on our Instagram story if they have any questions about the animals that we're featuring. So I'm going to read that first question off, and we have a couple. So Eddie, what is the lifespan of a cassowary, and when are our cassowaries' birthdays?
Okay, so cassowaries' lifespan is around 20 or 30 years. They are a long-lived species, and both of these guys were hatched in around May of 2017.
Great question.
That is a great question.
All right, our next question is from Augie. He's age 3. He would like to know, where do cassowary live? What's their natural habitat?
Okay, so that's a great question. Cassowaries actually inhabit the rainforest. So that's, like I say earlier about them having the fruit and they're an integral part of that rainforest ecosystem. They're all tied together.
Right.
That's
Okay.
great.
And what do they eat as far as diet is concerned here at the zoo?
Okay, so here at the zoo, they get a mixture of different vegetables. So they'll get apples, pears, papaya, cantaloupe, tomatoes, kiwi, grapes, cucumbers, I mean, a little bit of everything. They do get a few insects a couple times a week, just for a little bit of protein matter. And they also got what we have a pellet called crane pellets, which has a high protein content that we can give to them also.
Great question. Okay, next question. Is it true that their skin is blue? Can you talk about their coloring and how it changes over time? That's from @Jack Kleb.
Okay, so like the blue color, what they're talking about is the part on the neck. So like I mentioned earlier, cassowaries, whenever they hatch out, are brown color with little spots and stripes on them. Then they change into a mostly brown plumage, and that's where their skin color is in brown. And then if you have watched their cassowaries over the years, been visiting here, you'll see them turning that brown color into that shining black that you see right now.
It's great.
All right.
So we have one of our Instagram followers is asking, do they use their casque for fighting?
No, it's more, like I said, they thought that it is for thermal regulation, like a way for them to lose heat in such a hot climate. Also, it's thought that maybe whenever they're walking through, that pushes plant material out of the way so it doesn't get in their eyes.
Oh.
I'm sure it also probably has something, maybe a display function to it too.
All right, our next question is, are cassowary considered dangerous? If so, what kind of precautions do you all use when working with them?
Okay, they are considered dangerous. So we do not share space with our cassowary, which means that whenever we have to service their habitat, we will ship them indoors and then ship them back out, or do the same thing if they're inside for the winter. We will ship them from stall to stall. And the other part, like we were talking about, is training them to do certain behaviors for us so that we can manage them medically with the least stress on the birds as possible.
And are they related to emu?
They are. They're all in the same family, Stratiformes, which has the ostrich, emus, cassowaries, and rheas, and also a little bird called tinamous, which are from South America, which lay very colorful eggs also. Some of their eggs can be emerald green, some of them chocolate brown. So it's Tinamou, and it might be something that people want to look up just to kind of learn a little bit more about the smallest stratiform.
We have a Facebook viewer. Her daughter, whose name is Evie, would like to know how fast they can run. Do they run fast, Eddie?
These guys can run pretty fast. They're especially whenever they're out there inside the yard and they see us walking up with grapes.
So they'll look at over here, but they can probably travel 20, 25 miles an hour. I'm guessing on that. I don't know exactly, but they do move rather quickly. As
Oh,
you see.
big fan of the grapes.
Oh, she likes grapes. Or he likes the grapes. I mean, he's actually really gentle whenever he's picking these out.
And Eddie, do they bite at all?
I mean, they don't bite. He was closing his beak around the grapes, and he's very gentle when he does this.
So this training with them and working with them with grapes, does that help build your bond with the birds?
Yeah, they really know certain people. These guys are very intelligent. They really have their favorite keepers. Holly, the assistant creator of birds, has a great rapport with them along with other team members. And it's that bond and that trust factor which really helps with the training and management of these guys.
And we've had a question about the gestation period of cassowary. How long is the gestation period?
Around 50, 52 days. And like I said, the male is the one that does all the family rearing. Female lays the egg, the male will then incubate and raise the young, and the young will stay with dad till about 9 or 10 months old. And then they will go off on their own too.
Okay.
All right, well, we would like to thank everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate all the questions you sent us. We encourage you to tune in tomorrow. We are going live again with our red pandas.
Oh boy.
And as you guys may already know, we have a red panda cam.
Yay.
So we hope that you'll tune in, and we hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about our cassowary here at Sanctuary Asia. Thank you.
Thanks everybody.